there's a moment, right, where you're just like, I look up to the harness, I kind of look at them and I said, okay, it's you and me. And in that moment, I had to put every ounce of my faith into something bigger than me, that I was going to have this experience because I was meant to, and it was going to show me to trust something bigger than myself. And so it was a moment of surrender and letting go of control and believing in a power greater than you.
Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go. Welcome to the Ladies in Power podcast. My name is Meeka Casey.
I'm Sandeep Batha.
Dr. Soraya.
Gurvinder.
And we are Ladies in Power just like you. So grab yourself a nice cup of coffee or a glass of wine or a hot bowl of soup or whatever suits your fancy and turn it up. Get cozy, listen in, laugh with us, cry with us, learn from us, and share with us in the comment section because we love to hear from you. Today we are talking about saying yes. What have you said yes to that was terrifying, scary? You didn't really want to say yes. Maybe somebody said yes for you and you got stuck doing it. Either way, what have you said yes to that turned out to be absolutely fantastic? And you look back and say, I am so glad that they said yes for me or I said yes for me. That is the stories we're talking about today. And you're smiling brightly, Gurvinder. So why don't you lead us off today?
So as you were talking, I'm thinking, what was it that I said yes to? And then I remembered something I really wanted to say no to, and it was joining EFT Universe to learn how to become a EFT practitioner. And I wanted to say no. I had said no for about 6 months, and then in November, I finally said yes. And I am so November of 2019, I finally said yes. And I'm like, is this tapping thing actually going to work? Like, we just tap on these points and somehow miraculously you're letting things go. I'm like, this makes no sense to me. Yet I had practiced on myself. I had followed the tapping solution app and it had worked. I'm like, but is it going to get all those deep things? I was not sold on tapping because, again, I thought it was weird. I'm like, ugh, how does this help? And by saying these words, how does it let go? I had no clue. And then in December, my daughter was in the hospital and she was getting needles every single day. And by the time they wanted to do, they did so much blood work and gave her so many needles that when she saw a nurse coming in, she's like, I can't. And she'd be in tears. So I would tap with her. I would ask the nurses to let me know when they were going to be coming in or when she would be getting the needles. And I said to them, just give me a heads up and let me tap with her and I will calm her down and then you can give her the needles. And it worked.
Oh, wow.
And it worked. So my 10-year-old back then was calm enough and I would tap on her while she would be getting the needles. And we would talk about how I don't want a needle. I'm done. I'm done with being poked. I'm done with being prodded. I don't want any more needles. And we just I honored exactly what she had said. And after honoring exactly what she had said, she calmed herself enough down that when the nurses came in, they could actually quickly get blood work done and go off and do what they needed to do. So I am so thankful for saying yes to tapping because it immediately helped me with my 10-year-old back then.
It's helping you to help others too.
Yes. Yes.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I learned about tapping through Tony Robbins, actually.
He's fantastic.
He brought in somebody that was that educated us on it and put us through a process, and it blew my mind how effective it is. And so if you have never done tapping and you have some deep trauma work to do, or you've got a child in the hospital, it's definitely something worth looking into. And you can tap into Gurvinder and she can support you with your tapping journey. It really is there's so much that we don't know.
Yes.
And when we say yes, that's when we learn. And sometimes we're pushed, we're stretched. And if we allow it, it can turn out so beautifully. I'm so happy for your children.
Oh.
And yeah.
Tapping has been so profound for me. And I encourage people to go check out tapping on the Tapping Solution app. But if you have work, if you have these deep-rooted patterns or habits that you're really unsure about, please seek out a practitioner. Please. Because we will see things that just tapping on yourself you can't see. I still go to a practitioner. I'm a seasoned practitioner and I still go see a practitioner. So please go find a practitioner. Check out my website, oureudaimonia.com, and we'll chat.
What was the website again?
Our Eudaimonia.
We'll put the link in the description.
Okay.
And also if you go because if you're catching this on Spotify or if you're catching a clip on Instagram or Facebook, you can go to ladiesinpowerpodcast.com and you will find links there for all of us. So you can reach us off the podcast if you want to book somebody, if you want to go have a dental appointment, or you want to get some tapping done, you want to get some fabulous outfits, you want to get some coaching, you can reach us through there. And it also gives you links that you can send directly to people so that they can follow us and listen into our podcast too.
Brilliant.
Who else would like to share?
I have a story I'd like to share, but I have to give you guys a little bit of a background. So in a Persian culture, you hardly ever say no to your mom, regardless of what they ask you, right? It's not like today, you ask your kid something and it's like, no, mom, get serious. Like you always do what they say as much as you can. And I do have an incredible mom. I know in the previous podcast I've poo-pooed the poor lady, but honestly, she's amazing. And she does so much, like with handicraft and making stuff. But I think she'd always felt that she wasn't given an opportunity to finish her studies. Because those days in Iran, I guess it wasn't so okay for girls to go university. And now we're talking about 7 years ago. I should really clarify that after mom,
70
years ago. 7 years ago, because my aunts were all doctors and headmistresses and things like that. But for some reason, my grandfather wasn't so keen on mom going to school. So she married early and she'd always regretted not getting a degree. And she finished degrees she got a PhD in Persian culture, in Sufism, in literature.
Wow.
She got her doctorate degree. So she always strived to fill that spot. But one day I'm sitting at home. I was maybe about 40 years old. So mom would have been about 70, which to us, she was like ancient, right? At a 40-year-old, a 7-year-old. And she calls me and she says, I really want to do something and I don't want you to say no. And I go, okay. And she says, I want to go to this Sivananda Yoga Farm in US and get my certificate in meditation and yoga. And my English isn't very good, so I want you to come and translate for me. Will you do that? So I'm imagining a resort, and I'm imagining jumping into the water, and I'm imagining my skimpy clothes, getting a suntan, and I go, sure, sign me in. So anyway, she signs us in and I commit, and it's not just a day or two, it's like a month.
Oh,
yes. It's a month at this resort that I'm going to. So I pack all my stuff in a bag and I get to the airport. So far, so good. And then I give the cab driver the address and he goes, are you sure, ma'am? And I'm like, yeah, go. So as we're getting closer and closer to this resort. It's getting more and more isolated. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's one of those places that it's so exclusive.
You need to land on a jet or a helicopter.
Maybe I needed a jet to land in, exactly. And then I get there. And honestly, my first reaction is like, get me out of here. Like, who do I have to pay? Who do I have to pay to get out of here? Like, there are chickens running, there is mud on the floor, it's pouring rain.
Right.
You know, you're going to this reception that doesn't even look like a reception. And I'm not knocking anything. It was just my perception of where I thought I was going to go to Ritz-Carlton is what I had. And it wasn't Ritz-Carlton. Let's just put it like that. And then they take me to my room and I'm sharing it with mom, which is okay. But these beds are so slim and the room is cold. And I'm okay. I keep telling myself I'm okay, but I really wasn't okay. So I put my suitcase behind my bed because obviously I packed the wrong clothes. And I go to sleep and mom is all happy and she's like, did you bring soup? Because she wanted a cup of soup because I didn't know that, but they only fed you one time a day. And I'm like, no, I forgot to bring the cup of soup. So anyways, we go to bed kind of hungry because dinner was at 5 and I missed it. And I go to bed and 4 a.m. is like ding, 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 ding. And anyone who knows me knows I don't do morning. I do not do morning. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? Make it stop. And my mom is like, oh, we're going to go do the prayers now. And there's a word for them. What is it? You know, when we all chant on the floor? I don't remember now. But anyways,
Mantras?
it wasn't mantras. They said a particular word. Anyways, we get up at 4 o'clock. There's one shower. We're all sharing. It's cold outside. I skip the shower. Forget the shower. And we'll go and we'll sit down and I'm half asleep and then we have to chant. So we chant and we chant. And we're banging on our knees and mom is just having the time of her life. And I'm like, we're good. We're good. I just have to wait a couple of hours and it'll be coffee, right? As long as we have coffee and IV, I'll be fine. 8 o'clock comes and there's no coffee. And I'm like, when is coffee coming? And the rest of the students is like, you do understand this is a meditation place and we don't do coffee and there's going to be no breakfast. I think there was 2 meals. One was at 10 o'clock and it was like soup or something they gave you. And then it was at 4 or 5 o'clock. I thought I was going to lose my shit. Like I thought that was going to be the end of me. And just from then on, it got to be more complicated. So one of the things I had to do was actually attend classes with mom. Because mom, I don't really understand the language. She forgot to tell me they were teaching her physiology, anatomy, biology. And okay, mom knew a little bit because she's a beautician, but this was like full on.
Wow.
I had to study the nervous system again. So in the morning, without coffee, waking at 4 o'clock in the morning, after chanting, all of that, I had to go to classrooms, attend these. Then at night, it was my job to explain it to her. And she's like, you're not explaining it well enough. That's why I'm not understanding. So I'm like, so I'm going to do this. God help me. Anyways, the first week, ladies, was bad. I mean, I don't know how many times I cried, I cursed, I told mom, this is not it. And then they told me I have to do yoga. And I said, what is that? And they're like, you have to clean the bathroom. I'm like, oh no, you don't understand. I don't do my own bathroom. No, I don't do that. I don't touch anybody's place. I don't touch anybody. Anyways, I did it all.
Wow.
I cleaned bathrooms, I washed dishes, I swept floors, I got on my floors and wiped. I was silent. I had to be silent, which is very hard for me. There were silent periods where you shut it. And
Shut it.
after 3 weeks, it was like a switch was turned off. The switch of stress, worry, wondering what people thought about me. Because at that stage, there was no makeup, no shower, no hair done, no clothes of any kind. It was just you as you came in the purest form. And hell, you didn't even have time to put mascara, let alone any kind of makeup. So by that 3rd week, you kind of shed this shell. And in my free period, instead of, watching something or wanting TV, I would hike to this little meditation place, which they had higher up. And I would sit there, and there was a goddess there in the mountains. And I would just sit down and pray. They had gardens they called meditation gardens. You just walked there. And by the 4th week, I didn't want to leave. I was like, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go to the stress of the kids. I don't want to go back to my practice. I'm happy here. And all the things I thought I needed, whether it's jewelry or beautiful clothing or my makeup or the way I had to present myself in the world, it just vanished. And I remember the sense of peace and the sense of happiness that came from nothing. And I even got used to the food. Like the first couple of weeks, the food was bad. I'm a carnivore. I eat steak every time we go. And there was all vegetarian meals, very bland, very little, salt and pepper, but not too many different spices. And I remember talking to the ladies or the monks there, and they said everyone should take a month off out of the year and reset, because my energy level was off the roof. You didn't have to give me coffee to make me energized, and you didn't have to poke me to wake up. Eventually, it became automatic that I got up at 4, and I looked forward to the chanting. I looked forward to yoga. It was amazing, guys. I still thank my mom for making me go. I thank myself for being so stupid, thinking I was going to this resort, packing all my, slinky bikinis. And it was the most amazing experience. And I remember leaving thinking, I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to go back. And I did send my kids to the Sivananda Yoga Farm for 2 summers so they could have the experience. But I never went back. I never went back. And once in a while, I think about that and I go, wow, that feeling of bliss, I've never had it ever again, doing anything again. And why don't I gift myself that again? And life always gets in the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
I could see, sense your transformation as you were telling that story. What a beautiful story. And thanks to your mom.
Yeah, it was really, really something, guys. So if you would have told me what I was getting myself into, I would have never signed up. But I did go because I knew she needed the help. At least I could translate. But it was the serenity. I guess if I had to use a word, it was serenity. You woke up at peace. You went to bed at peace. There was never a thought of, how am I going to make money? Or how much is even my practice making money? Or how are the kids getting fed? Because we all know if you're not around, they don't get fed. But all of those thoughts just vanished because you were so busy. You had your karma yoga to do. You had your chanting to do. You had to be quiet. You had to meditate. And when you meditated, you were just calm. Just calm.
Like they really stripped you right down.
I think
from
they
all
did.
The things you thought were
So necessary.
And when you think about how little you need and were able to survive on, but not just survive, you thrived in that environment.
And the service of others. Who would have thought it would be so fun to swipe floors and clean toilets? But you kind of felt you were useful. You felt you were helping your fellow students. And it wasn't, who can help me, but how can I help them? Yeah. So that switch just got turned and they did a beautiful job. God
When
bless
are you going back?
I don't know.
What would it
Every
take for
year.
you to set a date and put that time for yourself?
I gotta quit worrying about what everybody else is doing. Like I shared with you ladies, my mom is not feeling very well. So a lot of my dates is based on how, I'll see if mom is or how she is, and then I'll make it. Also, I've got 2 kids that are doing their own things. And are they coming for Christmas? Which child is where? And then, of course, my own practice, my husband at home. The thing with mom was it was an obligation to her. So I just jumped, right? I didn't think. It was that yes, that you say yes without thinking. But now I'm thinking too much. What about this? What about that?
Yeah, so my invitation to you, and because we all get into that, we all
Yeah,
get
for sure.
into to that, and what helps me is to think about how am I going to show up if I say yes? Who am I going to positively impact? Because if we come from what we're missing, it's no fun. It's terrifying. If we look at what we're gaining, that's going to move us in the direction. If you look at, okay, I'm going to be this way with my husband, this way in my practice with my clients, with my staff. I'm going to be this way at home. I'm going to be this way on the podcast. I'm going to be this way with my kids. I'm going to be this way with my mom, with my sister, because I've taken that time for myself, not only as a role model and an inspiration, perhaps, to others, the woman that you reconnect with that's buried under the stress, the worry, the clothes, the makeup, the chocolate.
yes.
That is, if you, that's what propels me to say yes to things, is who's the woman that I am going to become in the process, and how will I positively affect, what is that positive ripple effect in the world by saying yes?
And I be honest, guys. I mean, I do use my family as an excuse because, as you just heard, the first 3 weeks was tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like exercise. You know, if you do it for long enough, it's going to
So
be
true.
amazing. But I had to get through those first 3 weeks. I don't want to do that. It was hard.
It was hard.
It was hard.
It sounds really
That's
difficult.
honest.
Yeah, it's very honest.
Because you're not
Yeah.
translating, though, if you go back. Unless you go back with your mom, is that something that maybe she'd enjoy doing again?
I think she's too old now to
Okay.
travel. She's now too old to travel. But yeah, I don't fancy going to that bed again. It was hard to sleep on.
Now
there.
you know to bring a pillow
Yeah.
instead of high heels and bathing suits.
And a cup of soup.
And cups of soup.
I'm curious though, Mahsa, it's such a beautiful story. I could dig
Yes.
into this for a couple of hours, but you haven't been able to go back necessarily, but have you brought the experience to your life here in any kind of conscious way? Have you been able to bring
What
that?
I found what happens, Sandeep, is you kind of say to yourself when you're getting on that cab going back, let me not forget this feeling. I've
Right.
got to remember to do that. And then for about a month, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I tried to do that. And then you'll say to yourself, oh, I'll just give myself a week off.
Sure.
That is the worst thing you can do. Don't give yourself a week off. That you think it's nothing, but then you're like, maybe 4 can be 5. It's
Yeah.
not so crucial that I can get up. And then it's just like dissolving something in water. It becomes less and less and less concentrated until it becomes diluted to the fact that it's nothing. So it took about 3 good months to destroy that feeling and get you out of it. And once you're out, it's really hard to go back in again.
Right. Yeah.
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 And what you described, those transformations are, you had all this beautiful serotonin. You had all this really great dopamine, the service and the connection. And it's how humans thrive.
Yeah.
And we can totally get that back. You can totally get that back. But you are right. It'll take about a good week or so just to get into those habits again. And then, then another week and then another week and then another week. And suddenly you're right back there. Give yourself a week. Give yourself
and
1
I think
week.
to Meeka's point, if it's not scheduled, it won't happen.
Mhm.
If it's not in I have a little book I still keep. The girls have seen it, highlighted and everything. If it's in there, it will happen. So I gotta do that. And you guys are coming. I ain't doing this alone. Yeah, you guys need to experience that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all go and we
Let's-
all do this together. You need to be woken up with the bell at 4.
Yes.
So how about you two? What have you said yes to?
I'm just thinking about the Mel Robbins podcast that we talked about that
Mhm.
that really inspired this conversation because she had interviewed a very well-renowned doctor scientist who's been studying aging for 25 years, and he gets funded. He's working with Harvard and MIT. It's a fabulous episode, and it really got one of the things was that people remember in their golden years, not the stuff, not the things, not the cars, the jewels, the houses. They remember the experiences and the experiences that they said yes to. And that's what stimulated this conversation for us to share. And yeah, you have one, don't you, that you're thinking about?
I actually have many, so I'm just trying to think which one I should pluck out of the hat today. I read a book, I believe in 2018 by Shonda Rhimes called Year of Yes. It's either My Year of Yes, The Year of Yes, or just Year of Yes. And the concept was that she's a producer, by the way, of
Bridgerton.
many TV shows. Bridgerton, Grey's Anatomy, very, very famous producer. And she did an experiment with herself of, I believe it was a year, that she decided to say yes to anything that came her way. So anything that came her way. And I remember feeling so inspired after that read that I thought, I'm going to do a version of this too. And I'm going to see what comes my way. And I'm just going to say yes. And especially when it's uncomfortable. But that's not the story I'm going to talk about right now. There's another example a few years later, because this was implanted in my being. A girlfriend and I went to New York in 2022 to watch the women's U.S. Open tennis matches.
Oh,
what an experience.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And we had, we'd built in a bit of a cushion of time. And so we had some extra days. And she suggested one day, hey, there's this experience called Lean Out. And I think it's something to do with a skyscraper and leaning out. And I said, she's like, do you want to try it? So having this gene implanted of yes, without any research, I said, yeah, sure, sounds great. And then we next day, beautiful, clear, gorgeous sunny day in New York City, blue skies. And we head over to this tall skyscraper. And I forget the name of the building, but maybe it's called The Edge. Anyway, so we start this experience and we get tickets. So now we've got tickets. So the yes is now a committed yes. Still haven't done a lot of research on what exactly is going to be happening. So our time comes up, our time slotted, we walk in and they're putting all these, like, we've got a, full body suit, like in construction, which what you would wear. And then all these like loops for belts and harnesses, and they're kind of checking in with us, like, emotionally, how are we doing? I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good, like as nervy as I should be.
I'm feeling pretty good. I love that.
Yeah, because they really were like, so how are you doing today? And and we're going up this tall elevator. We're going up to the top, and not quite the top, actually. It was a few stories below. And we get out and there's, again, they're harnessing us in, having a lot of this check-in kind of conversation, like, where's your head at? Do you know what you're doing today? Do you know where you are? Like really seeing if you're present and in the moment. So I'm kind of getting like, there's a lot of this. And I just keep saying, yeah, feeling good. Yeah. And then I realize that I'm just going to keep on feeling good, because if I start thinking about what this experience entails, who knows?
It's so good.
And so anyway, so we get to the staircase, and he opens the door and you step out, and right away you're harnessed in, like you're just harnessed into the stairwell. And I'm kind of checking it now. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty sturdy. Yeah. And you kind of take a minute to glance around, and whoa, you're really high up. Like you're
Wow.
really high up on a narrow metal steel staircase. And you're going to start climbing now to the top of the building. And along the way, that's, same thing. Our fellow was just like, so we're going to stop here. And I just want to show you some of the buildings around. So you know where you're at right now? Yeah, you know where you're at? I'm like, yeah, New York. This is New York. Yeah, we're way up on New York. This is really, really high up. How are you feeling? I'm like, yeah, still okay. Doing well. Not bad. Yeah, okay, let's keep going. Are we going to keep going? Yeah, let's keep going. So we keep going. And my friend and I are like, trying to take a couple of pictures because why not? We're doing this crazy experience. We are wearing hard hats, actually. That's what reminded me of the construction outfit. Not that those really would have helped, I think, because I
No.
think they were like, Anyway, we get to the top, and the whole time you're just harnessed in. Like there's no chance of, of you kind of just slipping or anything. And well, you could slip, but you're not going to go anywhere, hopefully. And we get to the very top. So the experience is called lean out. And lean out is on the edge of the edge. They have sort of on top, there's a place where you're going to be latched in with these harnesses above your head. And you basically go to the edge of the skyscraper, the very top, and you're going to put your feet on the very edge on an angle, and then you're going to hold on to these sort of these harnesses for a second, and you lean back.
Wow.
And then you let go.
Oh.
Your hands let go. You're harnessed, but your hands have to let go. And so he says there's two ways you can do it, and you can do it both ways. You can lean out back, and you can then have an experience where you lean out front.
Oh.
And I don't know why, but I chose front first.
Oh.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. So I am at the edge of that
Wow.
skyscraper, and it's New York City. And it's a beautiful blue sky day. And my heart is like really racing right now. It's just coming back to me.
My heart is racing
Oh my
too.
God.
I can imagine.
So anyway, there's a moment, right, where you're just like, I look up to the harness, I kind of look at them and I said, okay, it's you and me. And in that moment, I had to put every ounce of my faith into something bigger than me, that I was going to have this experience because I was meant to. And it was going to show me to trust something bigger than myself. And so it was a moment of surrender and letting go of control and believing in a power greater than you. So that's what I did. And I just said, if I'm meant to survive this, I will. And if I'm not, then it was my time. But what a great story it's going to be.
My God.
My family, by the way, has no idea I'm doing this.
Oh
My
my
husband has no
God.
idea. I haven't let my kids know because I'm like, oh, I'll tell them after. It'll be great.
It'll be
But if I
great.
don't, and then of course you kind of think, if I don't make it, wow, that's going to be quite a story for them to, hear about. So anyway, I lean out, and you are just that seconds feels like an eternity, and you just lean out and you just see everything below you, cars, the taxis, they look like they're a centimeter big, like they're so tiny.
Tiny.
And there's a deck below where you can see people milling around. And I actually kind of smiled at them like for a second. and then you just slowly make your way back. So I did that. And then I turned around and said, yeah, I'm going to do both experiences. So I turned around, and actually going backwards was scarier for me. And so I leaned out backwards, and you just sort of, you're looking up at the sky and you're just saying, wow, like, wow, this is insane what I'm doing right now. And then you come back, and then you've complete the experience. But in hindsight, because I love to learn from life, I love to learn from every moment, I would say, just as I explained, that in that moment, another thing was implanted in me, which was keep saying yes. Like, keep saying yes, because in that moment, I learned what it feels like to truly let go and truly surrender. And I'll tell you, there's nothing that has ever come close to that feeling again.
Wow.
And like you said, you're there and you're in that moment, or you're just experiencing something that's requiring you, in your case, to strip down and be, who are you really without all the material things, right? And for me, it was a moment which I actually really needed to learn the feeling of what is it like to just let go. And it all worked out beautifully. What an amazing experience. like truly to have done with another friend of mine. And how, like, think about it, I'm talking about it how many years later? It's so
Yes.
fresh in my mind. And it's such a vivid memory because it was so unexpected. And it was something that was so outside of my usual comfort zone that it just has really done something for me internally. The shift towards yes has become so ingrained in me. It's just, that's it. It's just an incredible experience.
I love
Wow.
that. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I
I
really
highly recommend
do.
it. I really highly recommend it.
Wow. I don't know if I could have let go, but
Mhm.
yeah,
But you'd be
that's
surprised because I wouldn't have thought either. But in that moment, you're like, well, I'm here. Do I just keep holding on to the harness and not getting the full experience? I mean, that's enough too. I mean, if you're at the edge of a
yes.
skyscraper
And you
and
got
you're holding on to
yes.
the latch, it's
Oh my
okay.
God.
But to kind of let go and then spread your arms so wide
Mm.
really was just another level of that letting go.
Mm.
So highly recommend. If not, that's, something where you're just pushed to that kind of an edge. And yeah, I survived and here I am to talk about many
Wow.
more yeses if we have time. But yeah,
Yes.
that was the one I wanted to share today. So yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow.
beautiful. That's
That's
good.
Yeah. Wow.
I love it's the woman that we discover
Mm,
when we've said yes and gone through that. Like,
yes, absolutely.
we're so much more powerful than we imagine, and we are capable of so much more than we imagine. And sometimes it takes getting pushed out of that comfort zone. And it's in the discomfort that we feel alive. I mean, when you ask a thrill seeker, someone who does crazy things on a regular basis, that's consistent that they respond with, I feel alive.
Yeah.
And so if you're in a place in your life where you're feeling mundane, bored, there's nothing exciting, rather than attract some chaos or some nonsense into your life to help you feel alive, which as women we often do. We will create shitstorms so that we can feel useful for cleaning it up. And it's just a fact. Whereas there's an opportunity for us to say yes to something much more pleasurable, like leaning in or saying yes to tapping or
Meditating for a whole month.
meditating for a whole month, getting up at 4 a.m., cleaning the floor, not having coffee, translating. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so much. And I would add that it doesn't have to require a trip to New York and
Right.
a purchasing of tickets to do this experience. I think what I've learned is that moment of aliveness that you just described, it can happen the minute we act on an impulse, right?
Absolutely.
If we act on an impulse, like I was walking on the street a few weeks ago and there was a gentleman who normally, I bet you he doesn't get a lot of smiles and hellos. And I had a nudge to just give him the brightest smile and the friendliest hello that I could. And I did. And in that moment, I came alive.
Yes.
I came alive because I did something that maybe otherwise, I wouldn't have wanted to give the wrong impression, but I don't know, there was something that told me just say hello to this person in the friendliest way you possibly can. And acting on that, I would say I still felt just as alive because I acted on something that maybe normally I wouldn't. So I don't want the message here to be that you have to do something wild and crazy and thrill seeking. It's in the everyday moments where we can feel alive because we chose to act on a nudge to do something outside of our comfort zone. Maybe paying somebody a compliment or trying a new exercise or breathing technique. So many ways that we can import those moments into our day-to-day lives.
True.
Yeah.
What was your big yes,
Yeah.
Meeka?
Well, somebody had asked me if I knew someone that could marry them.
Okay.
And I said, yes, I have the perfect person for you, Gina. She's a trainer in the Tony Robbins community. She's a lawyer. She's just one of my favorite humans in the world. Absolutely extraordinary, so diverse, educated, and just wonderful. And she does this. So I reached out to her and I asked her if she was available to marry this couple that I had met in the Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership world. And their love story is so beautiful. And she said, oh my gosh, I'm not available on that date. I'm sorry, but I could teach you how to do it if you wanted to do it. I'm like, no, no. I'm not qualified. I have no, I wouldn't say I didn't have any desire. It terrified me. I'm like, so then I went back to my friends, the couple, and I shared with them. I said, I'll keep looking. And I was so honored that they asked me who would I trust with this experience for them. And then he said, well, would you do it? I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So I said yes.
Oh, wow.
Woo-hoo.
And I had no idea what I was getting into. And oh my gosh, first of all, I took it so personally that they I'm married and I know how special my wedding day was and how special it could be. And it was really important. And so I took it very seriously and maybe a little too seriously in the beginning. However, I got online and I took some classes. I started watching videos. I watched probably 40 or 50 weddings and chose some of the things that I liked and some of the things I didn't like. And I wanted to bring fun into it. And of course, then I compiled all these ideas that I had that I thought would make their wedding phenomenal. And I presented it to them on a Zoom call because they lived in Texas and I'm in Vancouver.
Wow.
And so I had to figure out, how do I get licensed? What do I need to do? How long does it take? What is it going to cost? What's involved? All that stuff. And I ended up getting everything that I needed to do. Excuse, my bra strap is falling in my beautiful dress here. And which you said was called a goddess dress, which is the dress that I wore when I married them. It's just so nice. Oh my God. I mean, figuring out what you're going to wear when you're marrying somebody was way more difficult than I ever imagined. I didn't want, obviously, to wear white or black or something that would stand out. I wanted to be elegant, but not flashy and humble. So this was the search, and oh my gosh. Anyway,
And she nailed it.
Thank you. Shout out to Anya at Turnabout, because this is where this dress came from.
Beautiful.
And so I get all these ideas for this wedding, and I present they both say, Meeka, we trust you emphatically. We don't want to know all the details. So thank you for that. If there's anything that you need from us, let us know. However, we want that element of surprise and just the feeling I got of that trust. Holy moly. So of course, I have a booklet, and the booklet is like, what color is it so that it blends in? I definitely want to have cheat notes, but I want it to be elegant because, first of all, they said it was a small wedding because then they were going to have a big wedding in Mexico with her family. Very, very successful, wealthy couple with beautiful families that are extravagantly loving and lots of contribution. And I am feeling like I'm way out of my league. What did I say yes to? Oh my gosh. Then I find out, we have 7 bridesmaids. We have 7 groomsmen. My father is going to come up and he's going to say a few words and he's going to walk me down the aisle and give me away. And then we've got some flower children. We've got a ring bearer. And I'm like, wait, what? 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 Okay, great. So at this point, there's no turning back. So I probably spent 50 hours watching. This is what led me to start watching all these videos and everything. And it turned out to be the most fun day ever. And they loved it so much. And other people loved the wedding so much that I was offered at the wedding reception. People were coming to me and asking me, can you marry me? We're having our wedding in California on the beach. Can you marry me? We're having our wedding over here. And it was so beautiful. And then a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months after the wedding, I got a gift in the mail, and it was a beautiful wedding album of me
Wow.
at the wedding performing the ceremony.
Oh, wow.
And there were so many things that I learned that I want to share. If you're getting married or remarried or you're renewing your vows, there were so many things that worked. Actually, you can reach out. I don't want to make this all about it, but some of the things were to not be in all the pictures. You do your thing and then step aside so that the photographers can do all the photos of the loving couple on the altar. There was about 100 people in this beautiful chapel. And another thing was to get the audience, get them engaged, get the guests engaged long before the wedding party even comes into the room. So I'm up on the stage getting them, interacting with them, and half of them didn't speak a whole lot of English, so it was very fun to create the energy in the room. So by the time the music played and the doors opened, they were fired up, they were excited, they had been cheering. It wasn't a boring waiting for them to enter. And yeah. So those are two things that I just got goosebumps thinking about. Their wedding was magical, and I'm so honored that I got to do it. And so that was something, that I have goosebumps everywhere. It just makes me so happy. And my husband was there, and lots of our friends were there because we have mutual friends in our community. And my husband was one of the photographers with my phone. So they had asked him if he could take some extra video. So he's doing his best to wander through the chapel, taking videos of the couple and the audience's reactions, because I engaged the audience. I interviewed them separately before the wedding, and I gathered stories of how they fell in love and what was beautiful about their first meeting and when they knew the moment. And so I weaved some of their stories about each other in the ceremony, and they had no idea. And it was so fun. So that was a yes for me. And I'm so glad. I'm so honored that they asked and that I said yes.
That is such a
Wow.
fun job. Like, can that be a
It could
job?
be. Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. And it could pay very well, too, I might add.
So why
Not that
do
I
it all
allowed
the
them to pay
time?
me. That was my gift to them.
No, but
However,
why don't you do that?
oh my goodness.
Honestly, that sounds like so much fun.
And you inspired other couples to come and ask if you
Yeah.
would be there.
It was fun. It was fun. Well, one of my best friends here asked me recently if I would marry her. And I said, I would love to. Oh my gosh, that's such an honor. And then I found out here in BC, I'm not qualified. So BC has all kinds of rules, and it takes months, and there's just so much paperwork here in Canada that wasn't the same experience.
I'm going
Oh,
to
wow.
renew my
States.
vows, and I'm going to ask you to do it.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus, I love it.
So good. Yeah, because you took the time to do all this research. I mean, it wasn't just, okay, fine, you want to, and then get all that excitement in the people before they walked in. That was so good.
What a gift.
I
What a
love
gift to the
that.
couple.
Yes.
Someone so invested in the ceremony and ensuring the stories are told and captured. And I love it. I can just visualize the entire thing.
Oh, thank you.
And all that
you.
beautiful, loving, joyous energy that
Yes.
the crowd is feeling. Because usually everyone's like, okay, when's it
When
going to
is
begin?
it on?
When is this
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen? Oh, I wonder what she's right. Just, all the inner talk that they're doing. But instead, every single person was engaged. And not only were they engaged, they were excited and happy. And just, I can just imagine the bride and the groom, especially the bride, entering that.
Yes.
That beautiful burst of joyous energy to walk into. She's making this amazing commitment, and she gets to make it with everyone just like, that's what I'm like, wow, to walk into that.
Oh,
Like
thank
what
you.
she may
It
have
was such an
felt.
honor. It was
Both
such
of
an
them.
honor. I took it just so seriously. Like, oh my gosh. So all the research that I did was really, because I was so honored. I was so honored. I took it very
And
personally
how
to do my
thoughtful
best.
to step aside so the photographers
Yeah.
would just take a picture of the bride and groom.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
I
a
don't
great
think,
awareness in
yeah, there is great
Yes,
awareness
yeah.
in that. Because now that I think about my wedding photos, yeah, the priest or the gentleman who married us is everywhere. Like, what the hell? So we're definitely renewing our vows and getting it
I
done
love
right
it.
this
Love it.
time.
Love it.
How exciting.
What came out of that for you?
Mm.
Like in terms of if you were to reflect on being chosen, being asked when your friend wasn't able to come through. Why do you think this experience happened?
Oh, wow. That's a great, profound, reflective question. So that I could bring my light to their special day.
Mm.
I think, and not to, sound arrogant or anything, but one of the things that I get continuously from others is you have such an energy, a light about you. And I am really leaning into that now. I used to think, what, we're all the same, and everyone does have a light, of
Yeah.
course.
Mhm.
And I do believe that I was placed here to shine it. A little extra bright. Like that's my role. That's my purpose, is to shine my light. And so I got to do that. And it helped me to um, be to accept that.
Nice.
To
Mhm.
accept that, to
Yeah.
say that this is a part of me, this is my purpose. It's not an arrogant thing. It's not I'm better than you. It's not anything like that. It's just that we all search for our purpose, and I believe we have many of them. There's not one purpose. And I had not wanted to step into that for so long
Yeah.
because of judgment of others or fear of judgment or whatever. And that experience helped me to surrender and accept that, wow, I really am, I do have this opportunity to shine my light.
Gorgeous.
That is
Mhm.
gorgeous.
Thank you for
Yeah.
asking.
Mhm.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
You talked about a podcast that where the guest spoke about, kind of regrets or end of life, and that is such a motivating factor for me to
Mm.
consider. Ooh. End of our podcast, but to consider the life you've lived.
Mm.
And I do believe that the biggest thing for me to avoid is regret. And so I really try to think about unusual experiences, unusual opportunities. And I think those are what makes life so brilliant.
Yeah.
And to think back, like I don't want to be lying there if I have the, the privilege of lying there
Mhm.
to look back and say, like what, I could have tried that lean out experience. Would have been, I wonder what would have happened. I wonder how that would have been. Rather than, oh yeah, I'm so glad I played safe my whole life. And I'm so glad I stayed comfortable. I do think for me that just really, I think contentment in my life comes from really paying attention to the nudges and the opportunities and saying yes. Because as I keep doing that, I know that I don't have regret. I try not to live life with regret.
Mm.
I really try hard. And it's because of that awareness that I have of not wanting to look back and say, geez, I really wish I'd done all these things versus the things I accumulated. I don't think those will hold as much value. I already know that today. They're not holding as much value for me as the experiences that make life so just unique and precious. Like really just I think about just the warmth. Like I think if I left this world, I would miss dipping my toe into the ocean. I would miss feeling the warmth of sunshine on my back. And so I think all of this just reminds you that we're here for such a short time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why not say yes more often? Why not say yes more often? You'll get to officiate a wedding or do an experience, that you
Never would have
really
done.
never would have done. And if it wasn't for your mom, you would have been out of there in like
Yes,
2
2
hours.
seconds.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
So this experience required your mom
Yeah,
to
that's
be
true.
your
It's
partner.
beautiful.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you would have just
bolted.
Where's the nearest, high-end
Call the
hotel?
taxi back.
Yeah.
Call him back.
That's
Thank
great.
God it was isolated.
Yeah, I know. That's actually a really good. Would you have
Oh,
stayed?
100% I would have caught that
1000%.
back. Yeah. I would have run after that cab with my luggage if I could. It was just such a shock.
So when we all go together, we'll handcuff ourselves too,
Yeah.
so that she doesn't leave.
All these hand over, all credit cards, passports.
Oh my God.
They've got fuzzy handcuffs, you know.
That's so true. No,
Pink
guys.
ones.
If I
Pink
agree
ones.
to
Get a
go,
pink
I'm
ones for
gonna
sure.
I'm gonna man up and actually agree. Then yeah,
Your job is going to be holding us in kiss. It's okay, guys. Just I swear, just get through week
It's a
one. You'll be
shock.
okay. We'll be.
We don't know what we're
Yes.
saying yes to.
No, we don't. Yeah.
Sure, no problem. Let's go together.
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
I'm doing well.
Oh my God.
Let us know in the comments what you have said yes to and turned out to be fantastic. And one of the things that he shared on the podcast as well was that if you don't have any regrets in life, maybe you haven't lived enough.
Mhm.
Because it's okay to
Mm.
have some regrets. It's okay to have some
That's
regrets.
actually a really good point.
Mhm.
Thank
Profound,
you.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Oh
And
my
where's
goodness.
what's the yes that you're sitting on? I want to know what yeses are you currently,
Mm.
Yes.
pondering.
What's a maybe that
What's
needs
a
to be a
maybe?
yes?
What's a maybe that hopefully we've helped, dial forward a little bit? Because I'm sure we all have things in our life that are sitting and waiting for that yes to come.
Do you have one?
Right now? Ooh,
Does anybody have one on the tip of their tongue?
For what?
Something that you want to say yes to? It's coming up. You're a little concerned.
Oh, Capilano Bridge.
Okay.
What about it?
Haven't done that yet.
What?
We've only been here for 4 years.
You haven't been over Catalano?
No, we haven't.
Okay, fine.
I haven't
Alright.
gone. I haven't
So when
done
are you
that
going?
big walk. Planning on going sometime in December.
Oh,
but,
Christmas
like,
lights.
Christmas
But
lights.
like Sandeep, I'm like, I'm just gonna say yes. I'm just gonna. I'm not. I don't look into it.
Don't look into
I
it.
don't look
Say
into
yes.
it.
Don't look down.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say yes without thinking about it too much.
So Capilano Bridge, for those of you that
Capilano
don't
Bridge.
know, is a suspension bridge here just outside of Vancouver, and it's world famous and it's fabulous. So you can look it up. We'll put a link below.
That's right.
Especially at Christmas time, it's supposed to be stunning.
It is.
Yes,
It is.
yes.
It
Good
really,
time
really
of year to
is.
go.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm sitting on something which is asking me to record little messages for the business that I've just launched. And I'm getting the nudge to share my voice and share some stories and share why I started the business and the day-to-day things that inspire me to do it. So to share more of me in a solo way, not with the support of 3 lovely ladies. So yeah, the yes is waiting for a solid yes. It's like, I know I should do that. Yeah, But yeah, I think it's just needing to become a solid yes. Like, got to do it. Let's go. Plan a date. This is the date.
That's amazing,
Mhm.
guys.
That's great.
We
What do you think?
we were not supposed to talk about this today. I mean, Meeka just came up with it and said, "Hey, why don't we talk about it?" So in
Thank
your
you, Mel
case,
Robbins.
yeah, in your case, you should walk the bridge, and in your case, you should, because I mean, what bigger sign? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I said yes to going to see my mom. My mom isn't feeling well, and the time is so short, and I don't usually make decisions like that. But it was like, you know what? The work will always be there. The kids will always
Yes.
be there. But I don't want to have the regret of anything happening to my mom. I could have gone even for 4 or 5 days to see her and said no. So I'm catching a flight tomorrow. See ya.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And you, Meeka?
Darn. And on that note.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief. I need to say yes to this new car. I have put a deposit down like a week and a half ago, and it's not enough to secure it. I could still say, no, it's not enough money to worry about losing. And I just, there's some worthiness stuff coming up, and there's it's a waste of money coming up, and what if, and all that crap. I must say yes to the car. Yes to the Tesla. Yes. Yes. I want the vehicle from the brightest mind on the planet. The guy who can create rockets that don't blow up and never come back. The guy that I want to be a part of his something that he's created. And so, yes, I am saying yes. I'm going to go get the car. Oh my, yes. Please, Lordy, do it.
It's a fabulous car.
It is. Everybody who has it just raves about it. My husband loves his, and he bought it just at COVID. The same thing came up. What the hell are we doing? We don't have money. We were shut down. Just say yes.
Say yes.
Just say yes.
All right.
Just say yes.
Yes, ladies.
say
So
yes.
let us know what you're saying yes to. Please let us know what you're saying yes to so we can celebrate you and honor you. And when you say yes to one thing and you get it done, then you get to say yes to something next. And on that note, see you next time. Well done, everybody. I love us. The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.